Hello, friends. Welcome to this session on um, F&O setup from scratch. Um, this session is on the prerequisites for setting up the product information management module. Um, and I thought before getting into the application, I would like to share um, what are the steps needed and why it is needed before I start creating these steps in the product information management module, or in short PIM. I'm going to call product information management module henceforth as PIM. And what is that I'm going to cover today? I'm going to tell you the steps that are needed for creating a single product master or product no variant in F&O PIM module. Okay, like a for those who have new to this demo or presentation, please go through my earlier presentation and walkthroughs that discusses about this legal entity called Automobile Business Group. So my company is dealing with two-wheelers and four-wheelers, both finished goods and spare parts. So like you see here, what I've done is I have taken one use case as spare parts, and then trying to explain the steps that are needed, and that will be useful for our downstream transactions like purchase order, sales order, inventory management model. Okay. Now, what I want to start here is that I want to say I'll pick one spare part. Like the one you see here is an image of a two-wheeler brake system. Okay. So how do I create this brake system in my F&O PIM module? So I have to create a lot of attributes and properties for my product before even I start creating my product in a PIM. Okay, so what are the steps? Each step I'm going to flag it as a product property or product attribute. Okay, so each box is actually an attribute of my brake system, or for that matter, a alloy wheel or finished good product. Okay, so let me start with this first step, product category. What is a product category? The product category is the way we can now classify the product under a category. For example, this brake system can be categorized as a mechanical product, and it can be placed under mechanical categories. So it will be useful for us to now track our products category wise. I can say that my brake system falls under the category called mechanical, and there could be certain parts which are under engine parts and electrical. Okay, why is it used? Why is it needed? It is useful for our downstream transactions like purchase order. I can create product category policies, procurement policies, so that I will be using that to filter certain items which are used, which can be used only when the category or policies meet with the requirements. Okay. Now the second is the hierarchy. Hierarchy is, again, this is the way in which I can place my product in a particular level in my product hierarchy. So I have a hierarchy. For example, I have an automobile as a parent level, and then under that I will say I have two-wheelers and four-wheelers. Under that I will say that it is got wheels. Under two-wheelers I will say wheels. Under wheels I can say it is a alloy wheel or aluminum wheel, anything of that matter. Okay, so this is again useful in a few cases. I'll be covering that in my subsequent slide. I would like to share where it is used and why it is used, and what is the use case. All those things will be covered in the second slide. Okay, so and again I'll move on to the next attribute called the attributes. Again, the whole thing I am going to describe this as a product attribute, and within that you will see each box by itself is a description or characteristics of my product. Again, when I say attribute here, I am going to describe what are the attribute types. So I'll give you an example in my next slide. What is an attribute type, and what are the attributes? For example, attributes could be related to a material in which the product is manufactured, the size of the product, or the color of the product. Okay. The next is the dimension groups. So I want to place my product under a particular level in my inventory management module. Okay, how do I do that? I can define my product as saying that, okay, this is going to be having a storage dimension and it is going to have a tracking dimension. What is a storage dimension? Storage dimension is something related to the steps which are used in inventory management, how you want to track those items, whether you want to place this item under a site or under a site warehouse or under a site warehouse location. So if there are smaller parts, it is advisable to store it under a storage location rather than just saying, okay, my brake system is inside Delhi. It doesn't make it doesn't give me a clear picture if I just say, okay, my brake system is in Delhi. I would, for my closer tracking, I always want to say that my brake system is present in Delhi site, warehouse north, in location AB, or in what do you call rack ABC, something like that. So that is the level at which I can track my product's presence in the inventory. So why do I do it here? I have to define that my product, which I'm going to define my product information, is going to be tracked at this detail level. I'm not going to stop with just the site level. I'm going to say that my product is going to be tracked at a warehouse level, at a location level, at a batch level, and at a serial level. So I'll give you examples again in the subsequent slide. And the next is the item model group. What is an item model group? Item model group is a step in which you can define how do you want to govern your inventory related information for the product. For example, how do you want to sell this product? How do you want to cost this product? For example, when I say inventory policies, it is something like that. Okay, my brake system has come in Jan 2025. I want to make sure that I sell that batch or sell that brake system serial number which is being received in January 2024, rather than just selling my latest brake system. So that means that I'm using a policy called first in, first out. So this is something which is used in a attribute called item model group. So please note that this is very, very critical for defining the product characteristics. And again, valuation. How do you want to cost? Which costing method you want to use? So these are all certain informations which will be registered during the product information creation stage. Okay. The next step is the tracking dimension. So like I mentioned briefly here, I can say that I want to I want to label my brake system with a batch number, so that I will decide that, okay, this batch number AB001 and is exclusively going to be used for my preferred customer like Hyundai or Ford, something like that. So I can use these batch numbers again to control during my selling operations or selling transactions, sales order transaction. Okay. Then the serial number. A serial number is also useful to track your product at a lowest level. Each product can be tracked distinctly by using the serial number. This is useful when you want to do reservations. Basically, the batch number and the serial number, batch numbers can be used for your reservation policies, which will be again useful when you start creating sales order transactions. We will get there and talk about it in little detail on the respective transactions module. Okay. Serial number can be used for taking some action when you want to handle this product. For example, it could be having some quality related issue, or it could be something that you are not satisfied and you want to reject it. So those are the informations and useful. They're saying that this engine with a serial number 123 has got some issue. I want to reject it, something like that. So that is where this serial number is useful. Okay, and all this while I was describing, they're all the prerequisites to create a product. So when I say create products here, this is where exactly I'm going to now start creating my products. And within this product creation page, I have all this as attributes as a field, and each field should already have been created as a master field, and then I will use a drop down and then pull those informations in my product creation page. Okay, so what is meant by distinct product? So F&O now handles the now product creation in three different ways. One is that I can create a product with a subtype called product. I can create a product called with a subtype product master, and I can also add one more version to my product master that's called variants. So basically, when I want to create a product in F&O, I have to create it with a subtype, product subtype as products or product subtype as masters, product master. And when I say product master, I can also mean that I can add some variants or different flavors for my product master. Whereas in distinct product, that is the lowest level. I cannot create any variants for that product. So let's be to make it simple. When create a product, you cannot add variants. When you create a product master, you can create variants to that. So this is very useful to understand before we start creating the product subtype, different product subtypes in the PIM module. Okay. The next is item group. What is an item group? Why do you need it? An item group is used to place your product, okay, under a certain bucket or a certain category. For example, I will say that, or I'll say that my brake system is going to be put under a group called motorcycle spare parts group. Why do I need this? This becomes useful if you want to track your performance, or if you want to track the accounting of your products at a group level. So what I will do, I will assign a general ledger account for this particular item group called motorcycle spare parts. I will assign a different GL account called motorcycle finished good, and motorcycle mechanical, motorcycle electrical, if I want to give different ways to track my product performance. So why is it used? So how do I track its performance? I can, when I use this GL account 001, I will know that, okay, this GL account always is mapped to spare parts motorcycle. 002 is mapped to finished goods spare part. Finished goods, and 003 is mapped to four-wheeler vehicles. So this is now essential for using the product in our transactions like purchase order, sales order. So item group is a mandatory attribute. Without that, I cannot create a purchase order, or I cannot post it. And so that's why the attribute item group is very useful, and it makes sense to understand why an item group is needed and where it is going to be used. And again, the next bucket or the next attribute is the product price. Product price is that I how do I define the products for my, how do I define the purchase price, inventory price, and selling price for my product. All these things are defined in my product information management application under the respective section while I create a product. Okay, and I can also attach some discounts for my product, and that's why I've given creating discounts. But discounts are not mandatory. And if you do that, if you define a discount for a brake system, anytime you create a purchase order line called the brake system, it will automatically default this discount by pulling the discount information and the purchase price information or the selling price information that you have defined in your PIM module. Okay, and the next step is the defaults. What is a default? Set defaults. Defaults means that you can say some default conditions when you are selling the product or purchasing the product. I'll show you an example in the next slide. Okay, release products. This is very important step. So all the while I was mentioning when I said I'm creating a product, it means that this product has been created, but it is still not ready to be used by the companies for commercial usage. Okay, so when I create a product, I will have to release this product to my respective companies or the legal entities. So this is very important step. If you don't release this product, it will not be visible in your transaction screen. So if I even though if I define my product in my automobile legal entity, I will just have to do a next step called release products, which is also part of the product information management workflow. And then I have to select for which company or legal entity I want to release this. Only if you complete this step, you will be able to use your product and your purchase order line or in your sales order line. Okay, so that's the importance of release products. And then the settings and templates. Okay, so the settings are, again, as I mentioned, the default settings in the product information page and the respective tabs. Templates are very important for speeding data entry. Okay, let me go to that step. For example, what is a product template? A product template is a easier way to create a template for all this whatever I mentioned as an attribute in a template called car spare parts template or motorbike spare parts template. So when I say when I create this template, so what I mean here is that I will be storing all this information in that template, and I will give a name to it. And let's say I want to create 100 spare parts in my product information management model. So every time I don't need to fill in this information again and again. So it's a unwanted activity. So what I can do, rather, I can just say when I want to create the next product, all I want to do is I'll just say apply this car spare parts or bike spare parts template on the new product. Automatically, all those informations will be inherited from this template, and you can quickly create many products in very short time. So that's the advantage of using product template. And release product, as I already described, this is the way to start using your product in a transactions. Without releasing, you cannot use it in your transactions. Okay, and manage lifecycle and compliance. What is a lifecycle state? A product has got a lifecycle state. It can be under various states, right from the prototype to the state called obsolete. So why do you need it? I can use these states as a filter for my transaction. For example, I can say, don't use my product which is still in the manufacturing stage or in the prototype stage. So don't use my product which is obsolete. For example, let's say I want to upgrade this brake system, and so I want to call back, I want to stop selling this, or I want to start purchasing any more manufacturing this product, brake system. So what I'll do, I'll put it under a state called obsolete, and in my setup screen, I can say that allow products which are only in state called operational. Remove, don't allow no prototype or obsolete products. So that is what is called product lifecycle state. So now it becomes easier to understand why do I need this. Okay, but product lifecycle state is not mandatory, and it can be used for better control if you want to have a tighter control on transactions. Okay, and then the product compliance. Product compliance is again a something which needs to meet some compliance requirements, comply with some regulatory requirements. For example, I will say that I will restrict my brake system to be sold in a country, South Africa. I can say that I can define this at information in my product information page on a particular under a particular section called manage inventory, and then I'll create a compliance and say that this product is not allowed to be sold, and I will define the country code so that it becomes not restricted. And I can also add other compliance like regulatory, being that yes, it can be used, sold or purchased, but there is some regulation which needs to be regulatory requirements which needs to be met. And similarly, I can say that hey, my product is a hazardous material, handled with care. It has to be handled carefully in my inventory location, and it has to be carefully handled while I'm shipping, things like that. So these are the informations which are recorded under the product compliance, and I can flag it whether it's a hazardous material, whether it is a restricted material, or whether it's a regulated material when I define my characteristics or attribute for my product. And the configuration is a wider topic. I will definitely walk through in detail when I get there into the respective page. So for now, I will keep it crisp. It is the way you can configure a product either dynamically or you can predefine your product variants. Okay, so I'll stop with this, and I will go to the next slide and give you with more information. Okay, for all the things which I described in my first slide. Okay, let me take the first attribute. When I mentioned product category, I will put all my products under a category called engine components. I'll put my products whatever related to engine, I will put it under a component called engine components. Then it becomes easier for me to track. Okay, so where is it used? It is used in procurement categories. Like I mentioned, I can say that I will be having a procurement category where I will buy only engine components. I will not be buying electrical components, something like that. I can put it as a filter restriction in my procurement category, and I can also use it for a reporting purpose. And the product hierarchy I mentioned earlier, like I can put my product and place my product under a respective and at a certain level of hierarchy, like a brake system can be put under a hierarchy called automobile, two-wheeler, spare parts, mechanical. Okay, again, where is it used? When I say where is it used, it is actually referring to the F&O application or the module. Okay, here I say that it is used in procurement and sourcing and retail commerce and PIM setups. Okay, attribute type. Attribute type is again the data type of my attribute. For example, if it is a integer type, I can use it to describe my wheel size. Okay, I can use it to describe my wheel size only in integer. I cannot say that it is a I cannot add a text for my attribute if it is a size. Size can be only in decimals, like 18 inches, 20 inches, things like that. That's why attribute type is relevant. So why is it needed? It ensures consistency in attribute values, so that I don't need define one attribute as a text and the other attribute as a integer, things like that, and other as a boolean. So when I say it is the boolean, I can only say give a boolean value for my attribute type. So again, I've given some use case. For example, brake pad thickness as decimal. Okay, I can say that 10 inches and 12 inches, something like that. Okay, and whether it is abs is fitted, I can say that attribute type as a boolean. so that when I use this attribute, it can be either abs fitted or not fitted. Okay. This brings in consistency in tracking your product. Okay. Where is it used? It is used in project management, project information, product information management setup, procurement and sourcing, sales order, and asset management. And again, the product attribute, why is it used? It is used for defining your product and searching your product easier. Okay, it is basically metadata, and it is used for reporting also. For example, I can say that I can add a ceramic or metal to brake pads, and I can say that this is the material. The material of this product is either metal, alloy, or ceramic. Okay. And again, where is it used? It is used in procurement, sourcing, sales order, asset management, PIM setups. Item model group is again useful how you want to cost your inventory, how you want to how you want to post the inventory related transaction. And use case here is that I want to always use my spare parts tracked with a FIFO model, saying that the first in first out model method is used for selling my spare parts. And when compared to finished vehicles, I can add a inventory model called standard cost for my finished goods, whereas I can add a FIFO model, inventory model for my spare parts. So where is it used? It is used in cost management and inventory management. So the storage dimensions, like I described earlier, it controls the granular level of inventory tracking. So that's the reason we need to use this storage dimension, and it is a mandatory attribute. And it is, for example, I can say my brake system is tracked at a site level and a warehouse level. Okay. And where is it used? It is used in inventory management, warehouse management, and PIM setup. Tracking dimension, again, it is it is useful in compliance and traceability, warranty. For example, I can use the batch number, serial number for car batteries and engines. And where is it used? It is used in inventory journals, sales orders, warranty claims, return processing. Okay. And distinct product. I gave you an example. Distinct product means that clutch cable for Hero Honda or Hero Splendor as one distinct product. It means that there is no variant of this. This clutch cable is used only for Hero Splendor motorbike. So I can define that as a product that I don't need to create any variants for this. Okay. So it's a single product definition without variants. That's the reason I want to create it as a distinct product. And where is it used? It is used under release products, procurement, sales order. And product master. Product master is where you say that, okay, I have a basic product master. I want to add some variants to it. What are the variants? The variants could be the size, the style, and the color. Why is it used? Why is it needed? It simplifies the creation of multiple variants for my product master. Okay. So, for example, give an example. Motorbike tire master with variants for size 22 and 24. Okay. This is where I will use size as a variant for my motorbike tire master. And then I will use this to create the detailed variants and use it in sales order and purchase order transactions. Okay. So what is the product variant? Product variant is the actual sellable item in my transaction, or a purchasable item in my transaction. Okay. What do you mean by that? It means that I will give a unique number for this, and I have to use this in my transactions. So it represents actually the specific SKU used in transactions like PO and SOs. That's the reason it is needed. Product variant is needed. And what is an example? Use case SKU01 means that motorbike tire size 22 inches, because I already given a size as a variant here. I can use variant values here. 22 inches is SKU01, and 24 inches is SKU02. And again, where is it used? It is used in sales order, purchase orders, and inventory transactions. Default order settings, I already gave an example. I will give a specific example here. For example, when I want to sell this or purchase this, I want to mention that minimum order quantity for this product has to be 50 for Sparkplex. Okay, so this is a place where I can mention this information, and these are all present in my product information management fast tabs. I'll show you the exact place where I'm going to create this in F&O application. Okay, and that is going to be in the next video. And the product template, and I gave you an example of a product template called car spare parts, and how it saves time in creating a long list of products. Okay, where is it used? A release product setup and product creation stage. Release products. A release product means that it has to be released to a different, it has to be released to a specific company or more than one company. For example, I can say that Brake Disc Master can be released only to India and UK. I will not be able to sell this in USA. So this is why a release product feature is used, and company specific transactions, where this is where it is used. So if I don't release it to a US legal entity, I will not be able to use this product called Brake Disc Master if I log into my USA legal entity. You will not be even seeing that in a purchase order screen or sales order screen. Okay. So the product lifecycle state, again, it will help. It helps in managing, and it helps in managing the product by introducing and phasing out the product. And how do I do that? What is an example of this? If you say that old carburetor or old brake system as obsolete, you cannot use it in your transactions. Okay. So the next is the compliance. I can I give an example, like I can manage my inventory better by flagging it as restricted, regulated, or hazardous product properties. And I can also attach some compliance called the country of origin certificate. I can attach this certificate to my product and say that this is a compliance measures, compliance requirements. So I can define all those informations under the product compliance section of PIM module. Okay. So where is it used? It's used in procurement, sales, quality management, and regulatory reporting. The product dimension. The product dimension is, again, it is used to uniquely distinguish a product through properties like color, size, and configurations. Okay, what is the use of this? It is used to create many variants of a product. So what is the use case? I can configure the car, components differently, for example, using alloy wheel of different sizes. So where is it used? I can use it dynamically right during my sales order, a definition or sales order creation stage, and I can use it in my production BOM setups. So this is a quick snapshot of the important attributes, and what is meant by that attribute, and why is it needed, and what is an example of that attribute, and where this attribute is used in the downstream transactions. So this, I hope you will be able to relate to why all these informations are needed, and how it can be created during my product information management module walkthrough and demonstration. So rather than telling you again and again during my application walkthrough, I thought I'll share you this information so that it becomes easier for you to follow this product attributes when I start creating. Okay, I hope this was useful, and thank you so much for your time. Like I say always, please feel free to add your comments, and stay tuned to my next video, which will be the actual setup creation in my PIM module F&O page. Okay, and see you soon. Thank you. Bye.